there. Nice to see you again. I just noticed that Angela Power Disney had finally twigged the fact that I had made a video about her. I thought it would actually take a lot shorter time than it really did. But, you know, since she's done that and she's said a lot of things again, I thought it might be time to put together one of my own. I'd actually been planning another video for this slot, but what the hell? You know, Angela's there. Let's have a conversation. Okay, so let's just start with, I'm really glad that she seems to be somewhat coming to terms with her addiction issues. I am quite sincere when I say that, Angela. I know people who have had alcohol addiction, and I know how difficult it is. Please believe me that I am not being in any way sarcastic or nasty about that. I think it's a hard thing to deal with, and more power to you for doing that. Now, as for the rest of what you have to say, oh my God, where do we even start? Okay, let's talk about the concept of defamation. Do we know what defamation means? It means saying something about someone that is untrue and is likely to cause harm to their reputation. That's the me definition. That's not a dictionary or legal definition. I'm sure we could get into the legal definition if you really wanted to, but I think we'll stick with this for now. Okay, so what is defamation? Defamation is just when you basically make shit up. Now, your friend Kat Scott and your other friend Naima Fagan have made up a bunch of shit. They've either seen dots where there weren't any, or they have just out of whole cloth inserted garbage where garbage does not belong. And the fact is that instead of looking at where the dots were and evaluating that for yourself, you're very, very happy, as you always do, to go online and say, oh, it's just superb research. It's not superb research, darling. It's called making shit up. That's what they do. They're both good at it. In fact, a whole bunch of the people that you associate are good at it, and unfortunately, you buy it. That's really unfortunate. The thing is, Angela, I don't think you're stupid. I really don't think you're stupid. I think God gave you very good brains, and you have chosen, for whatever reason, to leave them by the wayside and leave your judgment in the dust when it comes to actually evaluating things. Because if that were not the case, you'd have seen straight through what Hope Girl is trying to do. It's really, really obvious. Even in the past week, she's a little bit peeved with me because I haven't been paying close attention. I haven't been paying close attention because she's not saying anything that interests me. But she made a threat to me about, I'm going to say about a month ago, maybe a little bit more, that if I did not take everything about her that I had ever written off the internet, and she also tried to attribute a whole bunch of videos to me, which is ridiculous because, as you can see, this is my first video channel, as you know, and as you so kindly pointed out, I really do have a face for radio, which is fine. I'm okay with that. If the world wants to look at my face and make stupid judgments, whatever. I'm old enough and ugly enough to cope with it. Anyhow, my point is that she wanted me to take down videos that I hadn't made, so I don't know how I'm going to do that. But anyway, what I said to her, okay, not in this many words, was, piss up a rope and suck on the wet side. Ain't gonna happen, honey bun, because I know why you want that stuff taken down. Let's go through some of the stuff that you've said on your latest video, Angela. You've basically been quoting Hope Girl, Holus Bolus. Again. You've done it again. Remember the woman who told you that Ella was sexually abusing her children, and gradually you had to, and there was all that like MI6, oh, it was all so secret and top secret, oh, and yes, I had to go to an undisclosed location. We remember that. Maybe you'd like to forget. Probably the person who told you that shit, if they did actually tell it to you, or even hint about it, would really like to forget. And honestly, you've done it again. That is exactly what you've done with Hope Girl. You've swallowed all of her lies as if they were the truth without stopping to think, Why is she saying this stuff? Because it fits with your preconceived idea that I'm a bad person. Now, if you want to think that, that's up to you. Cool, I'm fine with that. I've had someone, I think it was Andy Devine, say that this is the face of evil. Awesome. Do I get a t-shirt? Anyhow, so some of the things that are absolutely nonsensical, things having to do with, yes, there are clues about who I am in my book. You know that those books were written 20 years ago, right? Like 20 years ago? People change a lot in 20 years. Also, talking about the books being modeled on my child or my children is kind of hilarious, because at the time that I wrote those books, the child in question was 2 years old, not a teenager. No way I could have foreseen that unless I have access to time travel. Ooh, maybe I should check with Alfred Lambermont Weber about that. Doesn't he do something about time travel? Yeah, anyway. That's what I'm talking about. Don't believe everything you read. Don't believe everything you hear. Don't believe everything you see. Hope Girl does not want to get kicked out of Morocco. And I am getting in the way of that particular little ambition of hers. That's the bottom line. So she has a bit of a motive. Now, Kat Scott, she's just nuts. She says all sorts of things like, I don't even want to get into all the shit she's said that is just ludicrous. As for the picture of my alleged abdomen and the horrors of gastric bypass surgery, can you not see a photoshopped picture when you see one? Can you not identify that? Seriously? Okay, watch this. Here's me. I'm standing up. Abdomen. Do we see rolls of fat? We do not. We see a little bit of belly. There you go. Malcolm Conrad Ogilvy did that. He made the picture. And if he had any guts, or the balls that God gave him in his wee tiny little ball sack, he would tell you that. He's not going to, though. He's going to claim that it's an actual picture. Anyway, never mind. My point is, excuse me, my point is, don't believe everything that you read or everything that you hear. Just like I don't believe everything that I read or everything that I hear, and that's why I say someone told me this and I don't know whether to believe it or not. As for the contention that the courts aren't allowed to use your name unless they have your permission, seriously? You actually believe that? Do you know what a subpoena is? They subpoena people in the US courts. Maybe they do it in Irish courts too, I don't know. They don't do it in UK courts. And they certainly would not have had you as a witness. Why would they do that? They didn't need to. They had your face and your voice on a video conspiring with Sabine. There's absolutely no need to have you as a witness. They did have to identify you. And once your court name has been mentioned in court, it gets absolute privilege. Sorry, dear, that's the way it works. If you are named in court, and you were named in at least 2 trials that I'm aware of, possibly Jake's trial as well, although I didn't attend that one, unfortunately. Who knows? Maybe he did name you, I don't know. But the point is, you don't get any control over that. My name was mentioned in court too. I didn't get any control over that. No one asked me if they could. It's just that becomes part of the court record. Sorry, but you're in the court record now, whether you like it or not. That's just how it goes. So while we're on the topic of slander and defamation, that was actually something that I was going to address in another video, but hey, while we're here, we may as well address it. One of the things that this entire case is about is not just slander and not just defamation, but harassment and stalking. It's about people feeling afraid for their lives in their own homes, worrying day after day, night after night, that their children are going to be attacked, kidnapped, taken away by crazy strangers that they've never met for no good reason. That's what this is about. This is about people being terrorized by people like you, Angela. Just like you. People who will go around and happily, joyously proclaim that there are Satanists, Satanists living in Hampstead, and that they eat children, and repeating all of those lies over and over and over again until people start to believe them and start planning to do really stupid things, like show up outside schools carrying knives, for example, and then making jokes about it, because it's not fucking funny. It's not funny. It's not truthful. It's not funny. And there is no possible excuse for doing it other than to bring yourself attention. Now, one of the things that you did in your video, Angela, was name a bunch of my family members. And that's okay. I have talked on the blog, on the Hoaxtead Research blog, about how my sister and I became involved in this thing. She dropped out years ago. That's just, she had other things going on. I stuck with it because, I don't know, I just did. Dog with bone, I guess, I don't know. Anyhow, so that's not news. And the fact that we became involved because we had gone to an art exhibit that was put on by a friend of hers who had a connection to the school, I was very open about that. It's not big secrets, okay? This is not like, ooh, Kat Scott put together a brilliant, brilliant expose. No, she fucking didn't. Kat Scott just took what was obvious. She's a stupid, stupid woman. Anyway, and I'm referring to Kat, actually. I think she's basically missing a few critical brain cells. You talk about my husband. He's never had anything to do with this. And to say that he has, I mean, talk about clutching at straws. But as you will find out if you actually do any kind of background digging whatsoever, all of this stuff originated with Hope Girl. She made up the shit about me working in the residential schools. Do you know where the residential schools were located? Do you know when they closed, Angela? Do you have any clue? You just go with what you hear, don't you? You just go with what you hear. And that's sad, because I think you have more upstairs than many of these people. In the beginning of this thing, I was actually willing to cut you a lot of slack, because I thought, she's just an ordinary person like me, caught up in this thing, and maybe she'll see the light. Maybe she'll see sense. As things went on, it became clear that you were getting more and more sucked into it, more and more entrenched, and more determined to do harm. And that's where I draw the line, is where you start doing harm. Because you have done harm. You have terrified people. You have created terror. And what I am very, very much looking forward to is hearing what the DPP is going to make of all of that once they eventually, God hope, get back to the police. So you and I both have something to look forward to, Angela. And I don't think you're going to like it. Okay, well, that's it for me. I'll talk to you later, and have a good day. Bye now.